Hey, yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man, Vaughan here with the Indie Unplugged. And tonight, I have an amazing guest. I'm looking forward to this interview. Today, tonight, whenever you are going to watch this, this is a master class tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You're definitely going to want to tune in. But let me give a warm welcome to my guest, as I always do. Tonight, I have my man, Nard2Hard, who is a YouTube ads expert and the founder and CEO of WAMM Promotions, which is a digital marketing agency helping artists, podcasters such as the Indie Unplugged, and brands turn attention into real growth. He's built a reputation for mastering YouTube advertising in a way most creators still don't understand, helping generate millions of authentic views, building loyal fan bases, and turning content into revenue without relying on labels and viral moments. Nard2Hard has worked with artists like Lil Boosie, Lil Papa, Trouble, and Moray, and played a very key role in scaling platforms like Ray Daniels Presents, which is how I ended up finding out about Nard. His approach is rooted in understanding audience behavior, strategic ad placement, and helping independent creators take control of their own growth in an oversaturated market. What makes this story powerful is that he didn't come in with shortcuts. He understands the independent grind firsthand. And today, he's helping creators bridge the gap between visibility and real business. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to my man, Nard2Hard. My guy.
Cool, man. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Like I was saying, that's how I ran into Nard, was via Ray Daniels, when I had Ray Daniels on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, talk about your growth process. Like we were talking about this off camera though.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, you got to check out my man Nard over there at WAMM Promotions. I was like, bet. And then I happened to see you at the event that Ray did.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, hey, I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a partnership that probably was like a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
And so the channel's just been growing. And I've been seeing all the work that you've been doing, not just for the Indie Unplugged, but just all across the space. Yeah. And so today, as I stated, today's going to be a masterclass, ladies and gentlemen. But first, let's get into his background. What was your life growing up? Like, how did you first become interested in music, and how did you eventually make music a part of your life?
So I started out as a music artist. So I would say around, about 14 years old. This is when like Ja Rule was like hot, 50 Cent just came in the game, and that's when I started getting my love for hip hop. And I remember, I taught myself how to rap. I used to steal like my favorite verses out of their songs, and I used to make them mine. I used 16 bars. I used to rap them in school, and I'm like, yeah, this mine. You know what I'm saying? But eventually those 16 bars started to become 14 bars theirs, 2 mine, 8 theirs, 8 mine, and then eventually I was able to weed them out. So now, boom, I'm a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I was in 9th grade, so that's when I first got my love for the music. And then from there, I would say fast forward to my senior year, I dropped my first, solo album. And I remember, selling my CDs in school, $4 a pop. Make my first little $100, you know what I'm saying? And man, I felt like an independent artist for real. And then fast forward again, I actually teamed up with, still my brother to this day, C-Town. We had started this brand called WAMM. And WAMM stands for We're a Motivational Movement. It started as a music label. It was just a brand, you know what I'm saying? We was like, man, everybody got a label name. He was like, we need to create ours. So that's how WAMM became. And I would say during the process of being an artist, we doing shows, we, putting together our own shows, we dropping mixtapes after mixtapes, music videos, the whole 9. But we felt like something was missing. Like we're doing everything we see our favorite artists do, but we wasn't getting the same notoriety, the same visibility. Something was missing. So I remember seeing a video on YouTube by one of my favorite battle rappers. His name's Loaded Lux. And he said, to be popping, you got to get where it's popping at. and that stuck in my head. At the time, we was living in Florida, Crestview, Florida. And I was like, you know what? What is the closest place? Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So we made a decision. We moved to Atlanta. And being in Atlanta, that's when I was able to see the other side of the game. When I say the other side, so it's two sides. The first side, I was able to see the smoky mirrors. Everything, what it appears to be, ain't really what it is. You know?
That's facts.
So that was the first thing I seen. You know, I'm talking about I'm hanging around artists that they look like they got it, but they ain't really have it. You know, so I'm like, okay, I see that. But then the other side is I learned the business side. So I was trying to find a music marketing school when I was in Atlanta. At the time, it didn't exist. I couldn't find one. Berkeley at the time didn't offer it. It was what's the other one?
SAE.
What's
SAE.
SAE.
Full Sail.
Full Sail.
Yep.
None of them offered it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to school for marketing. If I learn how to do marketing, I can figure it out for anything. And then boom. So I went to school for marketing. In the process of this, I started to play around with the marketing platforms. In school, they start you with the basics of marketing. What does marketing mean? You know, like, and just the basics, you know what I'm saying? Online marketing wasn't really like, that wasn't the first thing they was teaching. So I started to learn it on my own. So this is when I started to learn Google Ads. This is how you promote YouTube videos. So I started promoting our music videos. I was still in the music game. So I'm playing around with it. I'm learning it. Fast forward a few years later, I actually got an opportunity to work at a digital marketing agency. This is what changed everything. So Grapevine Marketing is the company. They're based in Norcross. The owner, his name is Mike. He gave me the opportunity to work at his agency. At the time, I didn't know near what I know now, but he seen something in me. He gave me the opportunity. At the time, I started my recording studio. So I had a recording studio. I just launched my marketing website, WAMM Promotions. I had WAMM Studios, so these two websites. And I'm just, I'm recording people out of my house. I'm doing marketing campaigns for the same clients. I'm doing my independent thing. So what happened was he showed me, because at the time I didn't have professional websites. It was just some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like a little one page or whatever. He helped me develop these sites into professional websites. He showed me the professional way on how to market on Google Ads, how to set up Google Ads campaigns. And he showed me how to do it for my businesses as well. So he showed me how to do it for the businesses that were, clients, but also how to do it for mine. Like, he's showing me, this is how you market WAMM Studios. This is how you market WAMM Promotions. I was there for 90 days and everything changed. I left after 90 days because things just changed, as far as business growing. I'm on the front page of Google for certain keywords. Like, it just got crazy. So, and that's pretty much, the growth part. And ever since then, man, we just been in the game heavy. You know what I'm saying? We the location, I went from my house to we got a building in Jonesboro. We just got a building in Atlanta. So now we're in Atlanta now for the studio. We got another studio in Florida. The market agency has grown. Now we got 10 people on the team. And yeah, man, we just working.
Yeah, that's what's up, brother. Yeah, that's I've been seeing ever since I've known you for probably the past year or so, the different things that's been taking place and the clients you've been working with. And of course, I've closely been paying attention to Ray's platform, right? Because I've been seeing, not just because he's already known in the industry, right? But just how, and we've had conversations via email in regards to this too, right? Because I'm very interested in learning about the growth process. Okay, well, how is he growing his channel? What are some of the things that he's doing specifically that may live outside of just, maybe running an ad here and an ad here, right?
Yeah.
And so I know there's other tactics, and we'll get into some of those a little bit later and things like that in regards to that. But I think that's a great journey, because I think people start out one way, and then they find themselves in a different place, right? And so even for myself, I started. Y'all know I got stuff over here producing, but then I end up going into media, right? Which I did it selfishly because I wanted to meet people and artists to work with for the beats that I was making, right? So, but life can throw a curveball, and you find yourself in a different space where you're now helping people yourself, and you're helping more people exponentially than you probably would if you were just working as, operating as an artist. So you talked about the whole smoke and mirrors thing, right? So what's something that you think independent artists believe that just isn't true today when they talk about virality, or they talk about, seeing social media and that perception that's displayed? What's first of all, why do you think it exists? And then what is the thing that artists believe that just isn't true, that's living behind the smoke and mirrors?
So I would say the biggest thing that comes to mind is most artists think that they can create the song and they can upload it on a platform and people can just go find it, just out of the blue. You know what I'm saying?
Field of dreams, right?
Yeah, like they think it's just like, if I got a good song, like great things will just happen for me. I think that's the biggest misconception. The reason why I think is because the way the game appears on the screen. So when we see, let's say Lil Wayne or Drake, they drop a music video, right? And we see out the gate, they got millions of views, they got girls, they got cars, they got the ice, they're showcasing this dream life. So on the business side, someone would think, okay, well, I'm going to do exactly what they did. I'm going to create that same type of video. I'm going to create a hot song and I'm going to upload it to YouTube, upload it to the distribution platforms, and I should get the same effect. And it doesn't happen, But on the flip side, Lil Wayne and Drake aren't showcasing the back end of how do these numbers appear. What is the rollout process for the music? They're not showcasing that, but they're not supposed to. Why? Because if they showcase how everything happened, it can affect the aura, right? Because every artist has this aura. You want fans to feel like they discovered you organically. You don't want to tell them the process of how they discovered you. It don't feel the same. It needs to feel authentic. So it needs to feel like they just, I just woke up like this, So I would say on that side. The other side of it is the smoky mirrors, is the imagery. It appears that every artist is living a $1 million lifestyle, but unfortunately, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it puts artists in a mindset to where, okay, I'm going to create, just like I said, these videos. I'm going to spend all the money on these cars and these girls and clothes because this is what they're doing to win. But it don't take that to win. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, in this world we live in, sex, money, girls, drugs, sells. Controversy sells. So that's what humans like to see, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, they do.
So I think that's the biggest misconception.
I had just dropped a video, which I'm coming to promote that one. But I had just dropped a video because you've seen the video with of course Ray Daniels and Boom Man.
Yeah.
That that if y'all haven't seen it, go watch it. And after you watch that, go watch the video that I did about the key lessons. There are 10 of them that you can learn from that conversation, right? But one of the things that I learned from watching that was just because somebody has a system in place, a model in place, doesn't necessarily mean that model works for you. Right.
Yeah.
And so if y'all go back and you watch what they talk about, Ray and Boomman have different systems and models that they use when they're developing and working with artists.
Yeah.
You may like, I like what Boomman is doing, I like what Ray is doing, but you may not fit into their system. And what techniques and strategies that they're using may not work for you.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I love that, because I think that's the world we live in. Is we go, oh, they rap this way, they move this way, so let me do the same things that they're doing, and expecting that I could achieve the same type of results.
Yeah.
And that's literally not how things work. Right.
You know, on my end, man, I've never paid for Patreon, and I paid for Patreon to watch that interview early because it was like, oh man, I need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? They had me. If they had me, they had a lot of people. And, you know, I feel like you really got to be in the city. You really got to be in the mix to understand a lot of what was really going on, the purpose of that conversation. Because, you know, for me, my position in the game, I see a lot, I hear a lot. So I done heard a lot of stories about Boomman, you know, in AE. More bad than good. You know what I'm saying? So it was, you know, pretty interesting to see Ray, you know, basically saying things that a lot of people wanted to say, honestly. You know what I'm saying? He was saying things that a lot of people felt. You know, I've talked to several artists that, you know, similar stories, like, you know, like, man, like, I don't know if you paid attention to them comments, but it was a lot of artists like,
I saw them
oh,
comments.
I got took for this amount. I got took for this amount. And, you know, there's 3 sides to the story, every story, you know, the truth, the lie, and what's real, right? So I can't speak for nobody, but it's like, man, if everybody's saying the same thing, then it's like,
You know,
so
where 1 or 2, 3 people, if more people are saying something similar, there got to be some truth to it, right?
Yeah. But I would commend Boomman, because I've never worked directly with him, but I would commend him for, I remember it was like years ago. I remember when I first started seeing their advertising online, they was making crazy noise, you know, and I respect his marketing, right? Because regardless, you know, it takes a lot to, you know, market your business and, you know, make it work.
Right.
So I commend that aspect, but you know, that's as far as I know. I don't know behind the scenes.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was interesting when you said that about what you just talked about, that once again, not everybody's system works for that particular person. Right? What excuse me, what, you know, Lil Wayne may do may not work. And then, you know, of course, we're looking at Lil Wayne because he's on, you know, this particular space. Even major labels, you know, doing some of the things similar to what a major label may do may or may not work. You know, for an independent artist trying to get their foot into the game, trying to get their foot into understanding marketing and advertising and what it actually really takes. Because where I may have $1,000, they got $100,000, and what they're able to do and what I'm able to do may be different. But that's why I come to people like you, so I can say, okay, I got this. How can I maximize what, you know, the amount of money that I have?
Yeah.
You know, so you said something in there just now. One of the things I've heard you say, in you know, in just my own research, was that relationships don't mean anything if you don't have motion, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think artists chase connections instead of building leverage?
That is a good question. So okay, leverage and chasing motion, right? It could be the same thing, right? So, okay, leverage, when I think of leverage, I think of relationships. I think of building credibility, right? So now you have something to leverage. Motion could also mean, okay, I'm building credibility. So I got motion now, right? but also motion could mean the shiny, like, oh man, I'm about to go buy this chain, I'm about to go buy this car. I got motion now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So but I think there is a higher percentage of artists more and more that are becoming more knowledgeable about what they need to do. But at the same time, just like every year there's a new 9th grader, new 10th grader, there's a new set of music artists every year
Mm-hmm.
that don't know, you know, and they learn from what they see. Or if you're smart, you go to YouTube University and anything you want to know, you research.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, man, I think it's just a game. You know, I think it's there's no blueprint that is set in stone out there. Even though now these music schools do have better classes and better courses, curriculums for the music business side, there's still no step by step. Like, hey, artists, just like if I wanted to go open a McDonald's, I wanted to go open a Subway, I can go buy the franchise and they're gonna give me a full SOP step by step. This is what you do from 1 to step up 500.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of it, you're gonna operate just like any other of those franchises, right?
Mm-hmm.
For artists, there's no step by step, right? Because one side of it is the game changes so rapidly. It changes so fast. I remember at one point, I used to buy all these music business books, and every book I had, it was always outdated.
Yo.
I'm like, man, y'all just talking about streaming? The streaming is like, I remember they talking about CDs and they like, yeah, streaming is becoming a thing. Streaming is the thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was the newest book I could find. So ain't nobody got the you know, the step by step, but there is a step by step, but there's no visible online step by step.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's missing is how do you formulate a playbook that helps take you from A to Z? You know, as you were stating, as a y'all know, I hope y'all know what SOP is, standard operating procedures, right? You know, that govern you know how you operate and show you step by step what you should do from. Y'all know, I've talked about it before, right? So I got all these books up here, right? Y'all, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I got all these books up here, right? So some of these are outdated already. Like I believed all you know about the music business is on number 10 now. I think this How to Make It in the New Business is on like number 6. Like, matter of fact, I had to rebuy this book because it was this the Plain and Simple Guide to Music. I just rebought it because the information here was outdated, and he updated it with new information. And so you got to rebuy books, you know, because laws change very quickly.
Yeah.
The information that's in here, he was talking about the Copyright Royalty Board, which sets the the streaming rates and mechanical rates for, you know, the streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Well, the numbers in here are old. When they don't even use those numbers anymore. Now, what the CRB is still there, but all the calculations and the numbers, all old. All these books over here, yeah, information becomes so outdated so very quickly that, and when you even think about social media, YouTube, Instagram, algorithms change overnight, right? So as soon as you develop an SOP, half of those steps in there are probably already obsolete.
Yep.
Because now the game has changed so much that these steps that you were, I should do that, you can't do those anymore.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that never changes is the foundation of marketing.
Facts.
So as long as you understand the foundation, then you will always have a set of steps. Rain, hail, sleet, snow, right? Just like TikTok. When TikTok came, I remember I was in a conference. It was J.R. McGee. It was Wendy Day. And J.R., this is when TikTok just came out. It didn't just came out, but we understood this is powerful. This is what's working. And I remember him saying, y'all need to do this now. I don't know how long this is gonna last. You know what I'm saying? This is when the algorithm was it was like, man, like everybody hitting rolling sevens on the dice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So But new platform, same principles apply. Just like if it was a Facebook or a Instagram, a YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Like you have these foundations to it. And it's like, okay, you understand it's a new platform, same systems, just different names, still social media. You can still post for free, create an account for free, but posting and being consistent. That sounds familiar, right?
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, So posting consistent, interesting content, looking at the data. What does the data say? Every social media platform has an advertising side. Now you can run ads to uh accelerate growth, and do other different type of campaigns for other different reasons. So I think it's as long as you understand the foundation.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing right there too is having the strong foundation. So, do you believe artists today can still win without understanding marketing, or is that just not the reality anymore? Like, if you're an artist, a producer, podcaster, you need to understand marketing.
Yeah, so you have a percentage of artists that if you don't really care or understand about marketing, you can still make it, but we call that the lottery game. So that means that, okay, you can try some stuff. You might hit, you might not. It may happen. There's lots of artists all the time. They just, I wouldn't say throw stuff up there, but they put their art up on social media and it hit. You know what I'm saying? I just seen crazy amounts of artists go viral on TikTok and they didn't really have to do anything special. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to follow a step-by-step process, a rollout, pre-rollout, consistency. Of course, you got to go consistent after you go viral, but they didn't have to follow that process. Then you have the other side to where everyone can't win the lottery. That's impossible.
That's facts.
So now you have, the controlled aspect of it, the controlled viral. That I call it the tsunami effect. You create it. And how you create it is you structure your marketing in a specific way to where you force something to go viral. That is what we see all the time from, major artists or, big independent artists that we just see just everywhere. It was manufactured.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you familiar with Brendan Kane?
Brendan Kane, that sounds so familiar.
He is the marketing guru behind Taylor Swift. He wrote a book called Hook Point, and he also wrote a book called because I got both of them. I can't remember the name of the other one. But you're talking about forced virality, right? And he kind of is Brendan, I don't want to say you're the father of forced virality, but he definitely teaches people how to create content so that the likelihood of it going viral is almost guaranteed. Like almost guaranteed. Like he talks about, which is what he talks about in Hook Point, how to literally structure this thing to make that video that you are. Now, these aren't just your regular videos though. These aren't the videos where you can go, hey, like we're like a talking head video, and then you just, throw in an Opus clip and put it on Instagram. No, these are very, and probably as you're talking about, very strategic, very well structured, actual scripts and videos that they make for the purpose of going viral.
Yeah.
Like, and I've seen him do it. And I'm like, yo, how can I employ that tactic into doing what this happens over here? Because marketing is I guess there's various schools of thought when it comes to marketing, right? And you see a lot of different strategies all on social media everywhere. And you're kind of like, yo, which one is, once again, not every system or model that exists is applicable to you, because you may go, oh, I want to try this. And you be like, oh man, that didn't work. And you'll never want to do it again now.
So here's the thing with that. I preach it a lot, and it's so important to go off data, not emotion. So that was a
Mhm.
great example of someone going off of emotion. They try something, they put it out there, and it doesn't work. Why didn't it work? Is it the content, or is it the time that you put out the content? Right? Is it,
Mm.
did you put it out at the wrong time? Maybe, delete it or archive it and then try it again. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or, instead of deleting it all away, maybe restructure it. It could be like, okay, a caption on the video. Was it a particular color on the video? Like, it could be a lot of different things. I think the
Mhm.
biggest thing is test, test, test. I would say this is the thing. This is what I do. And I tell artists this all the time. If you see something that's going viral, save it and copy the strategy. Don't copy
Mhm.
the brand, copy the strategy. If something's going viral, recreate it, right? Just like if you see a product in Walmart, a name brand product in Walmart, selling off the shelves. Publix, Kroger, they got a product selling off the shelves, name brand. At some point, you will see those same supermarkets
You sure
recreate
do.
that product.
You sure
Walmart,
do.
what they call it?
The great value.
Great
You sure
value.
do.
It's gonna be the same stuff, different brand, and they racking the money. They gonna make it cheaper. China do it all the time, so it's like
Facts.
it applies to every aspect of life. And in this game, yeah, same thing. Content.
Independent artists, we the great value. What Lil Wayne them and the brand names, right? But no, but you are absolutely true about that because they will make a product that is very similar to the name brand. And now when you're in the store, you're looking at both like, yo, which one do I get? Yo, let me look at the ingredients on here.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, this guy contains bioengineered ingredients. This one don't. Like,
Yep.
let me get this. And it's cheaper, but
Mhm.
tastes the same still. Yo, let me get this one versus this one. You are absolutely right about that. And I think that's something that we don't as people who are looking for marketing of our products and services that we don't think about. Because we vanity,
Mhm.
right? We operate off emotion, we operate off of vanity because we can go, oh, look at them numbers. Well, I want them numbers that they got. And we don't know what it takes to get those numbers.
Yep.
And so we're driven by the emotion behind it to go, man, they got all them numbers. I want to get them numbers too. So what can I do to make sure that I that I'm visible, and that I go viral, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Man, that is facts right there.
That's the game.
How much success is today is actually about the music?
That's a great question. I would say it plays a role. This is how I look at it. So a artist is the business, and every business has services, has products, or both. Artists, the business, you have songs, those are your products. You perform, that's your service. You have merch, that's a product, right? So it's very similar. So,
Mhm.
the music still plays a role, but now music artists are able to have, so their brand isn't just streamlined into the artistry. The brand can expand to movies, TV shows. Oh, now you got artists, I'm gonna do comedy now. I'm a comedian now. Now you in that lane, So it's like, oh, I'm a streamer now. Like it's like it's so like open now, like it's deeper than just music. So then take it out of that, then you go into the business world. Look at Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? She has I think it's a makeup brand, I think.
Yeah,
$1 billion?
Fenty, yeah.
Fenty, yeah. Like that's makeup. But she became Rihanna based off the music. So, it was leveraging the art, the star power that came behind the music, and then now it's like, okay, I'm gonna use it in other areas. And that's what we see a lot of superstars do. So I think the songs, it's like it's part of the tree, but it's not the entire tree.
Mm.
And then you got
Mhm.
people that just come in the game as just personalities, and then they decide to also do music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think DC Young Fly is a great example. He came in the game as a comedian, you know, and now he probably always did music, but he came in the game as a comedian, and now he's able to leverage that star power to now like, hey, I also do music. Check this out.
Right.
So yeah, it's always been. I think it's just so much more opportunities now because of the internet. You know, I think it's like it's always been there. It's always been a branch, you know, because you still have superstars just like you had superstars 20, 30 years ago. But I would say, man, the superstar era is becoming less of a thing, you know.
Why do you think that is?
Man, I think it's just with the internet, it's just so many more stars. It's so many people that have popularity, but I think it diminishes the superstars, you know, to a degree. Just like podcasts, right? Think about it like a couple years ago, it wasn't a whole lot of podcasts.
It wasn't.
But now
it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But before we can think of like these like pivotal podcasts, you know, you got Joe Budden, you got Drink Champs, you got, you know, $1 Million Worth of Game. Those was like the big dogs. And then fast forward, man, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's to the point, bro, I started to notice because I love listening to podcasts. Like when I be working out in the morning, I'll be, you know, just doing my thing. I'll be driving. I'll be, you know, listening to podcasts. It's got to the point where it's some podcasts I can't even listen to no more because it's just so much. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So what does that do? That diminishes the superstars. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just, you know, well, you hot too. You hot too. You hot too. In my eyes, that's kind of how I visualize it.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. If I'm being honest, that's something that I struggle with. Is what in my opinion would, and I got a podcast, right? Would be the oversaturation of podcasts that exists, and what you just talked about, the using your stardom in order to do something different and to capital. I mean, and you should, right? I mean, you should. If I've reached a certain level of visibility and exposure, and I'm in that level of stratosphere, and I look to do something else, it should be inevitable that I'm either going to succeed, more likely probably succeed, because I already have a built-in audience, right? Shannon Sharp, built-in audience, right? Joe Budden, built-in audience. Joe and Jada, built-in audience, right? I'm like, if you like Joe and Jada's music, you're going to want to go hear what they say because they got easy connections to bring high-profile guests onto their show, right? Even Ray, high-profile guests to come onto the show. But when you have an individual, I'm talking about me specifically, that doesn't have that, it makes it harder to compete with brands on those levels because there are so many.
That's
right?
true.
You have your choice. You can either say, I want to listen to the Indie Unplugged, or I want to listen to Joe Budden.
Yeah.
And most people are going to go, I want to go listen to Joe Budden. Because Joe Budden has a built-in, and plus they're crazy successful in their marketing, their branding, how they do it. But they already have that built-in platform and audience base. And so people like, I want to hear what they got to say because of who he is versus, hey, I want to go listen to them because I don't really know who they are. And you're right. I mean, there's so many podcasts that exist.
Yeah. So peep this though. So how do you cut through that noise? So the biggest thing is to make sure that you niche down and stay niche down, right? Because you have Joe Budden and then you have the Indie Unplugged, right? So what's the difference? What's the topic different? Indie Unplugged, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about, okay, well, we're focusing more in the independent music artist lane.
Facts.
Joe Budden is not talking about that, right? That's not his focus. So if I'm an independent artist, I'm gonna be more in tune to this podcast because it's dialing deep into my lane versus this one is more like it's the newspaper, it's the shade room. You talk about everything. I don't listen to the Joe Budden podcast. It's because it talks about topics that I don't really care about. I may see clips every now and then that I'm like, okay, let me check this clip out. But I'm not dialed in like that. But then outside of music, I'm also interested in, finance and investing and stuff like that. I be dialed into channels that is solely focused on that.
So you listening to Wall Street Trapper,
Wall Street
you
Trapper,
listening to Market Earn Your Leisure.
Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah.
So you familiar with Earn Your Leisure?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect example. So they have Market Mondays, and then they have their new show, Blackout. Okay, so I love Market Mondays. Sometimes I'm not really in the Blackout because they talk about topics that I'm not really interested in.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So as long as you're staying in your niche, that's how you win. You dial in with the niche. But then also outside of that, continuing to do what you're doing, because it's not about who's the best always, it's about who's the most known. But not known in the aspect of, hey, I'm famous. It's about who is focusing on gaining visibility. You know what I'm saying? It's all about gaining visibility. There is someone that is not famous every day that goes viral and gets in a position to where they're seen and now they're popping. You know what I'm saying? Like they're doing numbers, whatever they're doing, whatever they're touching is just, just going up because they took advantage of being seen.
Right.
Like Dan Kennedy. Are you familiar with Dan Kennedy?
No.
He is I call him the Michael Jordan of marketing. But this is, business marketing.
Yeah.
But he says, and I always try to convert it to music, but he says the business that is willing to spend the most wins, right? So what does that mean? So I automatically go to the advertising world. So, okay, in the advertising world, let's say YouTube ads, right? When you're running an ad, YouTube ads is a auction. Just like, okay, if a car is going down in the auction, hey, going for 2. Someone raised their hand. Someone said, oh, I got 3. And then they keep going up until someone wins and it stops at 7. Oh, you was willing to pay 7 to get this car. So how YouTube rolls around is you have advertiser A, which is let's say a famous artist. Then you have advertiser B that is not a famous artist. But someone just clicked on YouTube and they're about to watch the Joe Budden podcast. But before that podcast plays, an ad is about to play in front of them. Who is willing to pay the most to get in front of that viewer? You got the famous artist. He may be willing to pay 5 cents. Even though he got millions, he's probably willing to pay 5. But then you got the non-famous guy. He's willing to pay 7 cents. Guess who gets the view? You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's about visibility. It's not about celebrity.
I love that. It's about visibility, not about celebrity. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna get a shirt.
I like that too.
So how do you think somebody adopts that type of mindset? If an artist wants to take control of their marketing, of their branding, of their visibility, what's the first real shift that they need to make in how they move?
Treat it like a business. So meaning whenever, let's say a business, right? A business owner, if I'm starting let's say I'm gonna start a cleaning company. Okay. If I'm starting it from the ground up, it's just me. I'm the cleaner. I'm the person that answers the phone. I book the jobs. I handle the finances. I do it all. As soon as I grow, or if I'm not in a position to grow, but I'm willing to invest in it, let's say I got a 9 to 5, but I want to grow my cleaning company, I'm going to take a percentage of my check and I'm going to invest in maybe someone to answer the phone, right? So I'm going to invest in that business. So what if I can't afford a full team? I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna hire you to wear this hat, but I'm gonna continue to wear the hats that I can't afford until I can. As a music artist, you're by yourself. You are the artist. Depending on your production side, you may be the engineer. You may be the mastering guy. You know what I'm saying? You may be everything. You're gonna have to be everything. But most artists, you have a 9 to 5. So you can take some of that money and you can build you a small team. You know what I'm saying? So, you can build you a team and then just continue to do, whatever you need to do. Nowadays, you have certain tools that can help you structure it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a Chat GPT, you got AI, you can talk to Chat GPT and say, hey, I need to create me a team. I'm an independent artist, but I want to move like a record label. Tell me what team members I need to have on my team. Give me the full breakdown. It's going to give you a full breakdown. So now you start seeing like, oh, okay, I can do that on my own. I can do that on my own. I could figure that out, but I don't have the time for that part. Let me outsource that part. Let me find who's affordable, but also who's an expert in that area. And now you got you a team. Some of it's going to be in-house, some of it's going to be outsourced, and some of it is going to be you. And then boom, you know what I'm saying? You got your team. So now you treat it like a business. What do businesses do all the time that are successful? They have team meetings. They have strategy sessions. So as an artist, you need to have team meetings. What is the goal? What is the objective? What are we trying to achieve? What are our KPIs? What is, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, a KPI, key performance indicator. So, okay, example. What's an example of a KPI? Let's say I'm an artist starting from scratch. Okay, I have 10 followers on Facebook. I got 20 followers on Instagram. I got 5 subscribers on YouTube. I got 1 video up. What is the KPIs? Start small. First KPI, I want 1,000 views on my YouTube video. I want 1,000 followers on Instagram. And we need to knock this out by Q1. So now you're going to put a strategy together, you and your team. All right, what are we going to do? We're going to post. We're going to create content. You know what I'm saying? Do we got anything else in the budget? Okay, let's run some ads. All right, boom. Q1 over. Where we at, guys? We didn't hit our goal, but we got 700 followers. Okay, we didn't hit our goal, but we getting something. You know what I'm saying? And then you just keep going and going and going. That's why we say it's a marathon and not a sprint. Because as soon as you start, you can't stop. It's a race that it's forever.
Yeah, y'all look, y'all don't know, right? I mean, we haven't even gotten to talking about the real in-depth YouTube marketing type stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now, that part about the KPIs, facts, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it's still in my corporate job that I work today. We deal with KPIs all the time, right? That's why I was like, what? Wait, what's a KPI? So they know what it, right? We deal with KPIs all the time. And so, part of that process is that we're monitoring our performance or our trajectory towards accomplishing those KPIs, which is why those strategy meetings, or what do you want to call them? Strategy meetings, you want to call them scrum meetings, you want to, whatever your meeting tag you want to put onto it, that's why you have those meetings, so that you can go, okay, where are we in regards to these KPIs? Maybe you need to create like in my job, we got KPI dashboards, right? Where we can see the numbers and we can see where we're moving in regards to, I guess that's the same as the analytics like back in YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So we can see exactly where we're moving toward that performance, and we can identify any barriers that may be impeding our ability to achieve that KPI, right? So we can go, okay, now we see this just change. This is going to impact this. What else can we do? What type of, we call them BOIs at work, or barriers, opportunities, and interventions. Now, what barrier exists? What opportunities do we have, and how are we going to intervene? What are we going to use that can close that gap and resolve that particular barrier? No, so that's, and I don't think a lot of people think, because when you sit back and think about it, I just want to be an artist, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to rap, get on the mic, skirty skirt. That's all I want to do. Like, I don't want to have to do all this, and if, for me, if a person is going to achieve, they have to adopt that type of mindset. I'm all about, I just released a video on my other channel talking about the 5 mindsets that you got to have. And one of those mindsets is a growth mindset, right? You talk about, and it's hard to have a growth mindset and to have an innovative mindset, and just to have all these different things, because not people, a lot of people think that way.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I want to monitor no KPIs. I don't want to look at have no strategy meetings. I want to rap.
Yep.
And that's what I want to do.
That's like a barber. He's saying, man, I just want to cut hair, man. I don't want to do all this marketing
Exactly.
and hand out flyers and text people and this and that. I just want to cut hair. Well, you can cut hair, all right, but you ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna cut a lot of hair. You might just be cutting family hair. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I always try to like, use analogies from business to help them understand it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. There's no difference. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, to help them see the similarities.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think so many artists hesitate when it comes to actually investing in ads?
They hesitate to invest in ads, maybe because it's something that depending on how technical you are, some people assume that it's something that you can't really see, right? Because like, I have this conversation with a couple like music service providers a lot, because artists spend their money where they want to spend their money on. Like it's like most people say, oh, artists don't have no money, artists are broke.
How they got money?
That I don't believe that to be true. Every artist is a human and they have a job, and you know what I'm saying? Everyone has money. Now, how much income are you making? That's another thing. But I've discovered a lot of artists that I'm talking about dropping $5, $10, $15, $20,000 into making a music video, getting the feature with this song with this major artist. They in the club, album release party, strip club, throwing the racks and all that stuff. And then they drop a couple $100 into a marketing campaign. Why is that, right? That's the question. Why is that? I think it's just two sides, right? I said on one end, it's something that they can't see, because it's like, okay, you drop, let's say, couple hundred, let's say you drop $500 into a marketing campaign. I'm real big on data, showing you the data behind what you spent so you understand how your money was spent. But at the same time, you have to understand the numbers, and you got to understand you got to invest in yourself, and you got to invest in marketing yourself. But on the other end, it's something they can't see, because they can see the music video being done by their favorite artists. So they can visually see, I got to do that. But they don't visually see them spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on album rollouts and single releases and millions of dollars into marketing songs. They can't see that. That's not shown. So if they don't see their favorite artist dropping that bag, they go into the agency, you know what I'm saying? Like, they go into these different agencies and they dropping major bags. They don't see that. That's not shown. But like I said before, it's a reason. So if I don't see that, I'm not gonna believe that it's being done. But I hear it all day. Man, let me just drop a couple $100 over here, man. Make me go up.
Like it's simple. Like, man, look, let me just get a couple dollars over here, bruh, and just do your thing over here. But not really realizing that's where the growth takes place.
Yep.
Is in the marketing. I don't know why people don't. I can't say I don't know why people don't get it. I get it. Like, if I get it, it's like, boom, I know exactly where I'm gonna put it, right? And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I know exactly where I'm gonna put it. I'm putting it with Nard and with WAMM. Like, I mean, I have an ad that's being ran right now. I mean, I don't know, y'all don't know that, but I do, right? I'm seeing in the analytics, like I know. And one thing that I love about what WAMM does is that they show you all the behind the scenes, right? So I'll eventually get an email with the breakdown of the performance of that particular ad. And I love going through it because here's what I do. And it's a question I'm going to ask you in a moment, but I take that email that they send, and I take that email and I put it in ChatGPT. And then I say, hey, ChatGPT, let's have a conversation about these analytics for an ad I just ran. Let's look at, different things that, I could do that can help maximize what just took place. And ChatGPT will go through and analyze and give me, well, you did all this and this is what happened. And it'll give me all that.
That's smart.
Right? Like, yeah, I'll go in ChatGPT, like put that whole copy and put it in there and let's see what happens. What do I need to do next? So how do you feel about AI? Do you feel AI is going to have a impact on marketing? And if it does, in which way?
I say it is already having an impact. And I say it's good. It's all good. Of course, AI has negative aspects to it, but in the marketing world, I think it's all good, man. Like one of the things, just like you said, it can take a report and it can break it down to the crumb where you can understand. And that alone is major. Like we use it a lot for, like let's say, okay, we're trying to strategize and put together a campaign. Instead of us wasting our time looking at this report, we can just throw it in ChatGPT and it can pull it together for us. It can say, hey, based on this report and this report, focus on these locations, focus on this demographic. Oh, they have similar styles to this artist or this content creators has similar audiences as this podcast, and it just put it all together instead of us wasting time and gonna do the same thing. So in that aspect is good. I think handling bottlenecks, because outside of, artist campaigns, but we do a lot of marketing for business owners. So we deal with a lot of a lot of errors in campaigns. Like, okay, for example, we may have a campaign that, okay, for a business owner, let's say we're doing marketing for a cleaning company. They're spending, $300 a day and, they're normally getting about $30 per lead. Well, out the blue, that $30 goes up to $100 a lead within a week. Something's wrong. If you've been getting $30 a lead for, years and now it's 100, something's wrong. So now we have to do a full analysis. We have to check the website. Is the conversion tracking still good? Is something wrong with the website? Did something change? So we have to go through that process. And sometimes when we can't figure it out, we'll throw the campaign in ChatGPT. Well, now we use Claude. Claude is an animal.
Claude, yeah, man. Because I'm about to, I'm been thinking about moving over to Claude. My wife. So not to interject, if I let you finish that, my wife's a certified AI generalist, specialist. She has like 3 AI certifications, right?
Wow.
So we've been talking about Claude because she uses Claude a lot. But anyway, yes.
Yeah. So we use Claude too. And so we'll throw it in the Claude and it'll break down like, hey, check this. And it's stuff like, damn, we knew about, but okay, let's check this. And we check this setting. That's what it was, So, it helps us in a lot of aspects. I think it could, it can also help artists, as far as on the marketing world too, So, I think it's just beneficial.
Yeah, and I do too. Just really strategizing around, because a lot of artists try to take it into their own hands. Like I try to take it in my own hands before. Yeah. And I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing in here. I'm watching YouTube videos on how to create a skippable ad. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I had to go read all that. Okay, what's a skippable ad? What's okay, let me figure that out. Is that the one I really want? Do I really want this one? I don't know which one really works the best for what I'm trying to accomplish, but let me choose this one because, in the back of YouTube, when you're doing an ad, they kind of give you like the guide, right? Oh, here's 6 options. I don't know what 6 to choose, but you find a lot of people trying to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And we eventually waste a lot of money. So where do you see artists, businesses waste money when they're first starting to run these ads?
That's a good question. The wasted money is always in the settings. Always in the settings. I think that's the biggest thing. Um, like, okay, for example, whenever you're running an ad on any advertising platform, and also it depends on the objective, but one setting I see is search partners, audience
Mhm.
network, right? So what that is let's say I'm running an ad, I have the option for it to run on YouTube. This is YouTube focus. If I can run it on YouTube, or I can run the ad, not or, but and I can run the ad on Google search partners. So if I go on, let's say a website, you know how you go on a website and you see like these ads like on the
Mhm.
side, that's a search partner. So sometimes that's beneficial, sometimes it's not. If that's not part of your objective, then that can be wasted money, right? Another thing could be frequency. You can control how many times one person is seeing the ad.
Mm.
So if you don't have a control on the frequency, then this one person can see the ad a lot, 10 times, 20 times. There's a time and place for retargeting, but if you're not trying to retarget someone, then that could be wasting money. That could be a person that's already seen the ad, then they go to the channel, they like, subscribe, they already locked in, but they seeing the same ad. You wasting money. Save that for someone else, right?
Mhm.
That's another thing. Let's see. Another thing, um, depending on the type of campaign, it could be devices, right?
Mm.
With device targeting, let's say, okay, if I'm running a subscriber campaign, then devices is fine. But let's say if I'm running like a video view campaign or I'm running like a full growth campaign, I really want to focus on people that have a tablet, a mobile phone, computer, um, TVs is an option. If I'm trying to get people to like engage, I might not want TVs to be targeted in my campaign because I can run like I can run it on TV, but if I see it from a TV, I can see it, but I can't like, I can't subscribe,
Mhm.
I can't comment,
Comment.
you
Can't
know?
comment. Right. I want to comment.
Yeah. So I think them alone is probably like one of the biggest ones. And there's so many, but a lot of it is in the setting. So that goes back to you saying, okay, a lot of people try to do it themselves, especially with AI. You can cut some of that
Mhm.
time in half, but at the end of the day, it's either time or money. You either have the time to learn it and you can do it yourself, or you don't have the time, then it has to be outsourced. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I think it boils down to that. But yeah, and then Meta, TikTok, same thing. Every advertising platform is the same, just different functionalities.
Mm.
Just you're a producer. So, think about how many beat programs, the foundation is the same, but the interface
It is
is
different. Right.
different.
They all do the same.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, I would agree because as somebody who's tried to go into, the YouTube advertising system, Google advertising system, and there's terms in there I'm unfamiliar with, or were unfamiliar with when I was first starting out, right? Like CPV, like I didn't know what that was. I was like, what's that? How do I, or you can tell them because you do,
Cost per view.
right? So I'm like, I don't know what do I put there? I don't know what to put, right? And I think this is where you get into the whole how much you're willing to pay. I'm
That's
like,
it.
I don't know. I pay, and it gives you a suggestion.
It
Okay, I
does.
pay that,
Mhm.
right? Because you're suggesting that I pay this. I don't really know what that means. So, um, which is why I like to outsource because that's not something that's not my wheelhouse to do that, right? I don't got time to sit and do that. I honestly I don't. And so, if you don't have time, ladies and gentlemen, you get on my man's over here. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's going to take care of you because he's been taking care of us, right? But I just don't have time to do that. So when you've been talking about campaigns, right? So when you're looking at a campaign, what are the first numbers that you pay attention to and why?
Mm. So for an artist campaign, we look at a lot of like view rate, video playthrough rate. So for example, let's say, okay, we're pushing a video. on that video, we're gonna have multiple campaigns. We may have 4 campaigns, each campaign focusing on different things, but the foundation of it's still the same. So let's say, all right, all of them are running. We're looking first at the playthrough rate. So out of, let's say the video got like 5,000 views, out of these 5,000 views, which campaign generated the highest playthrough rate? So how many views do I have at 100%, 75%, 50, 25? So meaning how many people watched all of the video, 75% of the video. So that tells me which campaign is stronger in a certain aspect. Another thing is the actual video playthrough rate. It kind of does the math with all those numbers and gives me a playthrough rate. I'm looking for something that has anything above 40%, So I'm looking at those two numbers. I'm looking at click-through rate. Click-through rate is basically the math between how many times someone's seen the ad, which is impressions, and how many times someone actually clicked on the ad. So I'm looking for which one has the highest click-through rate. And then depending on, how dialed in we are on the campaign, I'm looking at the earned section. So the earned YouTube section is giving us data like earned views, earned subscribers, earned likes, earned playlist additions. So meaning if someone watches the ad, if someone adds the video or the channel to their playlist, it can show up, right, in the dashboard. If someone subscribes from the campaign, it'll show in the dashboard. If someone watches the video and then they double back and watch it again, or they watch something else on the channel, that's an earned view. So those, but we only get those type of analytics if someone is actually on a YouTube channel management campaign. So now, so that data comes in when we have the YouTube channel actually connected to the Google Ads account. So that's a deeper level of analytics. But for the surface level, click-through rate, playthrough rate, video playthrough rate. And another thing is cost per view, because we want, good metrics, but also if I have 2 campaigns that are like similar in video playthrough rate, is similar in click-through rate and view rate, but I have one that is cheaper, giving me a lower cost per view than the other, then I'm gonna go with the cheaper one. So yeah.
Yeah. So when you're looking at that, how do you know if it's the ad or the content that's the problem?
That's a good question. So when it comes to a music, so it depends on the type of campaign. So if it's a music artist, unfortunately, if we're running a skippable ad, so we have skippable ads, we have in-stream ads, discovery ads, and we'll break all that down. We have non-skippable ads. So that's kind of like the main ones. So most of the time we're running skippable ads and in-feed ads. If we're running these ads on the music video, so the objective is to grow this video, we're running the ads directly on that video. So if we're running ads directly on that video, then that means rain, hail, sleet, snow, the ad starts at 0. You know what I'm saying? So technically the content will always be the same across the board. So, now how can we tell if it's the content without testing multiple creatives or different parts of the song or different parts of the video? Then we're going based off of, the playthrough rate, So for example, what we consider a solid campaign for a music artist is, I would say, anywhere from 30 to 40% at the 75 to 100% mark as far as playing through all the way. For view rate, at least 30, but we're really looking for 40 to 50%. Click-through rate, if we can get it, to that 1%, then that's good. So those are the metrics that say, hey, these campaigns are running good, the content is good. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's under those metrics, that doesn't mean it's dead. that means like, hey, well, let's optimize the campaign. Let's make adjustments, to start making cuts and shifts at certain aspects. That way we can increase the performance. There's plenty of times where we're running the campaign. And another thing is, like, okay, let's say, all right, we're looking at the average view duration of a song. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at it. This is the average view duration. Okay, so we're going to optimize the campaign. When we optimize the campaign, we should see the average view duration go up. You know what I'm saying? So now that doesn't mean that the song or the video is dead. That just means, hey, we got to optimize the campaign and make it stronger. But if content is good, we might not have to work as hard. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're looking at from that aspect. But you do have non-skippable ads that you can run different parts of the video. I can take non-skippable, I can take like up to 15-second clips of each video, and I can run an ad at, from hook song, or I'm sorry, beginning of the hook, verse 1, another ad, verse 2, another ad on the bridge, and I can test it like that. But the views from the ads don't go directly to the video. We only use those for brand awareness. You have to watch the ad because it's non-skippable, and the goal is to get you to click on the call to action. So that's a different type of ad. More expensive, don't recommend it unless the budget is big. But yeah, that's what we look at.
Yeah, that's man. Yeah, that's why I don't do it. Because I don't know all that.
Yeah. It get technical. It get more technical than that.
Man, I am sure.
It get crazy.
Can we go back and talk about the different types? Skippable, discovery.
Yep. So we have the skippable ad. So a skippable ad is whenever you go on YouTube and you're about to watch a video, but before that video, you see an ad. And you have the option to skip that ad after like 3-4 seconds. That's a skippable ad. Then you have a discovery ad / in-feed ad. So that is when you're on the home screen of YouTube, the home page, and you see these rectangle boxes, like you're looking at the Explorer page, I guess we can call it. And then in the mix of all that, you see an ad, right? So that is an in-feed discovery ad. Also, while you're watching the video on YouTube, and you know how you can scroll and look at other content to watch while the video is playing, while you're looking at those new pieces of content, you'll see an ad. That is also an in-feed ad. Then a non-skippable ad is similar to the skippable ad, but the only difference is a non-skippable is you can't skip. That's the only difference. That video plays to up to 15 seconds and you have to watch the entire thing. So those are like the main type of ads. And then, you have other ads, but that's more so for like business owners. Like you got like a Performance Max campaign. Performance Max is where you can show up on the Google search. You can show up in Gmail. You can show up on YouTube. You can show up on search partner platforms. So that's, but yeah, those are the main type of ads.
The ads that I shouldn't say I love skippable ads, but I do, like, especially when I want to watch something and here's this ad and I'm like, I want to watch skip. Like or something I got to like refresh and hopefully the ad don't pop up. But I'm saying that as a person that, is using, these methods and strategies to grow the platform. But I do, when I want to watch something, like, yeah, skip, hurry up, because I want to see. But and this is not specific to YouTube, but one thing that I find, and it's weird, this is a weird thing, is now, even not just YouTube, when you're looking at something on Google, it'll show up on your Instagram. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
It'll show up on Instagram or Facebook. Like, my wife was looking for like a chair one day. And I on my Instagram started to see chairs.
Yeah.
And I go to her, I'm like, you looking for chairs? She was like, what do you mean? Like, how you know I'm getting chair advertisements on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a chair. Are you looking for a chair? She said, yeah, I've been looking for a chair. how am I getting your search ads? I'm sure it's probably IP driven on my Instagram though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On my Instagram.
That's crazy. So me and my wife talk about this all the time. Cause like we'll be talking about something and then automatically we start seeing it. And it really
Got you.
goes back to the point, man. So whenever we create a Gmail account, whenever we create a Facebook account and Instagram, TikTok, we are never reading the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
That fine print, it got some stuff in there. And basically, to sum it up, we're giving them the option to sell our data to advertisers. So it's like they're selling your information. It's like we both use it. It's getting used on us and we use it as well, right? So in your aspect,
big data.
Yeah. Like, boom, they're selling your data. So you see all this stuff, but at the same time, you use the software, you use the platform so you can show up in front of people as well, right? So it's like, it's a double-headed sword. I love it because it gives anybody the opportunity to show up in front of someone. It's like, if we look at it, we're trying to help somebody. We're trying to help people, right? So you're growing your platform. You're getting in front of people because you're trying to help people. Because at the end of the day, for you to, be successful, you got to solve a problem. So for your podcast, you're solving the problems for independent, right?
True.
And they need this.
Y'all do. Y'all stop playing it. Y'all do.
They need this. So you got to get in front of them.
That's right.
They need this. You know what I'm saying? Like the people, when you seen that chair and your wife seen that chair, y'all might have needed that chair.
You know what? You know what's so crazy? Look, here's the crazy part, right? Here's the crazy thing. So we ended up getting chairs.
Yeah.
Right? My chair broke. And I'm like, you looking for chairs. My chair broke. So I ended up going out and getting this chair, this nice Shaquille O'Neal. Let me go and do the advertisement. Shaquille O'Neal, Shrine, whatever the name of a chair. I think it was almost $600.
Man, let me tell you something.
$600.
I just bought a chair. $1,000.
Ooh. Bruh.
Yeah.
That chair, I better be in that, sit down in that chair and be like, I'm on a cloud.
Yeah. I can recline. It's automated to where, like when I lay all the way back, it massages me. I got the footrest to where, you know what I'm saying? Like
an office chair?
Yeah, it's an office chair. Cause digital advertising, I'm sitting at the computer all day.
All day.
So I gotta be comfortable.
Yes, sir.
So, it supports my back. That's the biggest thing. I need that arch. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That was her argument.
What's my argument?
That was her argument.
Oh yeah,
because I wasn't gonna buy it, and I sat in that chair and I was not gonna buy it. And she was like, "Look, think about it. You edited. You're coming up with all your scripts. You're editing your videos. You're making music. You need something that's gonna be comfortable with lumbar support, right? She's using all the lumbar. I'm like, what are salespeople like? Like lumbar support. Like you sit in it.
Yeah.
I sat and I was like, oh man, this thing. And then I walked around the store. Because I wanted to sit in everything else. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna justify paying almost $600, this chair better be the best comfortable chair in this entire Office Depot, and it was. So I ended up buying it. Yeah,
look like you made a good decision.
I did. That chair is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I'm interested in that $1,000 chair now.
I gotta send it to you, man. It's nice.
I'm sure it is. So let me go back because I got a lot of questions, but we ain't got a lot of time. Because I got a lot of questions though. But how do you build trust with people who think this is all a scam?
That's a good question. So it's all about. So reputation is important. The brand is everything. When you do good work, it follows you. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm talking about the foundation right now. You know what I'm saying? So do good work. when you do good work for someone, they recommend you. Word of mouth is like the best form of advertising, and that creates trust, right? When people leave reviews online and stuff like that, all of that helps. So most of the time for us, we're meeting people online. You know what I'm saying? We're meeting people on the internet, so it's never face to face. It's a phone call. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I seen y'all online. What do y'all do? You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing for me as an independent artist, I know what an independent artist feels like. I know most artists been scammed already before getting to me. I done been scammed. So I know what to do to make someone feel comfortable. I know what to say. I have all the stats I can show you so many things to where you have no point but to trust me. But, online social proof helps. If you looked at our stuff online, it's obvious we're a real company.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see, it's certain things that you can see to where it just shows the proof, But I have a certain set of lines that I say to help people, like, okay. So one of the things is I say, hey, we have multiple locations, physical locations that you can physically walk into. You can meet a human. You know what I'm saying? So if something bad was to happen, we can't run away because you can just pull up on us. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, we've been doing this for over 13 years now. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing I always say is we do what we say we're going to do. And if we do not achieve the objective that we said we're going to do, we'll give you your money back. So when I say those things, it's like, damn, okay. And then here's another thing that I tell. If I have to go to this extreme, I say, if it all boils down to it, pay with PayPal. Why would I say pay with PayPal? If you have a problem with PayPal, they're going to give you your money back, rain, hail, sleet, snow.
Yep.
So you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay with Zelle, you at risk. If you pay with Apple Pay, you at risk. Cash App, you at risk. We use, Stripe payment processor. If you pay with your card, you have a higher chance of getting your money back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I say those set of things, and that kind of and then it's the way I talk to people. You know what I'm saying? It helps them feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the end of the day, man, sometimes you just gotta take a risk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because and I understand, man, I talk to a lot of people every day, a lot of artists, a lot of business owners, and a lot of people have trust issues, and I understand, but at the end of the day, I can tell you all of those things, but at the end of the day, you gotta pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta drop the bag, you gotta invest in yourself, whether it's with us or you do it yourself. You're gonna have to spend it somewhere. You gotta spend it. It has to happen for you to grow. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always money. You can invest time. You know what I'm saying? I hate to always say money, money, money. You can make things happen without money, but you have to have money to also make it go faster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, he said those to me. Okay. I'm sure he remembered that. we were out.
And the thing with you though,
we were outside.
We met in person.
Yeah, we did.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you was able to get referred to someone that
was credible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was probably the biggest thing, was from someone who was credible. Because I had asked you that question. You was like, look, we got physical location. You're meeting me. I'm the CEO, right? You can pull up on us if you need to. Not in a dangerous way. I'm just saying, like, if we got, but you can ask questions. And I think what really was the sealant on the whole thing was, Ray used these people.
Yeah.
And if Ray's using these individuals, I don't think Ray is going to use anybody that's not a credible entity to handle his platform marketing for him.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going with the same people. And literally, that's exactly what I did. I think I came back and I used the whatever the test one was, whatever the case was.
Yeah.
And I used that, and I saw the results, and like, boom, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like, but you got to pull the trigger to go. Let me do this. Because so I got two more questions. So when you think about it, what happens? Because it could have been easy for me to go, yeah, I'm gonna go to this other platform and spend my little $25 and get this 1.2K views, and I don't know if they're authentic, or not. So what happens when an artist uses bots or fake views instead of real campaigns? What does that actually do to their growth?
So, all right, two parts to that. So we see that happen all the time. We see, and then sometimes in our it's funny. So we see artists, they'll use us for a period of time, and then out the blue, I stop hearing from them. And then eventually I see them pop up on my algorithm, and they got a video drop, it got views on it, but we didn't do it. And I see it, so I start watching. I'm like, let's see how it goes. And I promise you, man, 99% of the time, they come back because they wasn't happy with the results. I actually had this just happen with an artist. He went with another company because they was cheaper, and I get it. As an independent artist, you are trying to, you got to keep your expenses low, so I get it.
Right.
So I seen it happen. So I was watching. I'm like, let me see how it works out. And man, I'm talking about, it was horrible. I don't know what was going on. I can tell the views was authentic, but the structure of the campaign wasn't right. Because of I can just tell it just wasn't looking how I needed to look for a music video. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't looking like it. So I actually hit him. I'm like, man, your video ain't looking right, man. Something's off. And he was like, yeah, I can tell, man. He instantly just got a campaign from us, and then we've been back working ever since. But what happens when you use bots and stuff like that? It can shadow ban your video. It can shadow ban your channel, depending on how it was done. I'm not 100% against these things. Here's why. There's a time and place. For example, if you have a major artist, and this is something I learned. I've been chasing an answer to this a long time. Even after we started to really grow as an agency, I was still chasing this answer. And I remember I talked to a marketing agency, and he kind of confirmed it for me. But you see these artists where they got these videos, millions of views, but the video is so crazy, there's no way it'll get approved for ads. So crazy meaning they got girls where, they barely got any clothes on. You know what I'm saying? They got guns, they got drugs. That stuff is very, very hard to get approved. Now, we got tactics in our arsenal to get past a lot of these things, but sometimes it just don't work. So what happens when that comes up? If you're a major artist and you got a video like this, you can't get it approved for ads, but you got to maintain that imagery. What you going to do? You're going to bot it up. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do it smartly, but you're going to bot it up. Is that a smart thing to do? Not fully, but to a degree, yes, because you have an image to uphold. You can't have 20 videos, 5 million, 20 million, 100 million, and you have a video that doesn't do as good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, so there's a time and place. But as an independent artist, the best thing for an independent artist that's not established is to stay away from that stuff because you're in a building phase. So don't even play the game of the bots and stuff like that. Just keep your video and your music YouTube ready. Just like when you take a song to a radio, it has to be radio ready. So when you create your song and your video, I call it YouTube ready. You can cuss, but don't have it too crazy. You can have your video can be fly, but make sure the girls got clothes on. Make sure you ain't got crazy guns and
we
drugs.
want Nelly tip drill of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how they put
It ain't gonna get approved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So as long as you stay away from that stuff, you don't even have to worry about bots.
Mhm.
But if you got, I don't recommend it. It's a lot of things we do to avoid the bots. Even if we gotta blur things out and cut certain scenes out, we're gonna do what we gotta do. So I would recommend just staying away from it unless you're a superstar and you got to. But this marketer confirmed that they use bots. Like when I was like, man, how are these artists getting all these views and they got all this crazy stuff? How are they getting these videos approved? He said they're not. They're using bots.
Wow.
I said, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
He confirmed it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Here's $1 million question right here. So let's say I got $1,000. I'm sure you heard this question many times before, right?
Yep.
But it's the golden, I guess for me, the golden question. Got $1,000 to invest because artists, I'm sure you can save $1,000, right? To invest in your marketing, your branding, your growth strategy. You got $1,000 to invest. How should you think about using that money the right way? I'm taking it and I'm giving it to you.
So
what do we need to do?
If you have $1,000, so it's a lot of different ways we can play it, right? So, and I think it's a great question because it's different ways. If you had $1,000, it depends on where you are. I'm assuming that you have the song already established. You have the video already established, right? So it depends on the structure of the brand. How strong are we in certain areas? How strong are we on social media? How strong are we on YouTube? But I would honestly say take that 1,000. Let's start with Meta, right? Say $1,000. I'm gonna start with Meta ads. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take $100 and I'm gonna chop the video up. I'm gonna chop the song, chop the video, or if I just got if I ain't got a music video, I got a piece of content and I got the song, I'm chopping it up into five different parts. And I'm gonna run an ad behind 5 different ads. I'm gonna take $100, $20 per ad. I'm gonna run it for either 2 to 4 days. After that, I'm looking at the data. And I'm trying to see, same metrics as YouTube ads, I'm looking at the metrics as far as like, okay, which one is performing the best, right? So whichever part is performing the best, I'm gonna kill the losers, keep the winners. So now I'm running a post-engagement campaign behind the winner creatives on Meta. So $900 is left. 100 is gone. I have 900. I'm gonna take anywhere from, let's say, maybe let's say $300. I'm gonna take $300 and I'm gonna run a post-engagement campaign. All right. So we got the post-engagement campaign. What is this doing? This is building notoriety on social media for the song. On my social media platform, I need to make sure I have my call to action set up in my bio. Hey, new video just dropped. YouTube link. Or I should have my link tree, or either YouTube or my link tree. That way they can go stream the song or they have the option to watch it. So I got that set up. So that's the foundation. Now I'm going to have another $100 set to the side because now I can throw in some retargeting ads. You know what I'm saying? So I can take $100. Now I got $500 left, but I got $100 and now I'm going to do a retargeting campaign on Meta ads. So boom. I got my post-engagement campaign. Everybody's seeing the posts of the clip or the clips that's going crazy behind the song. I can have a retargeting campaign to where I can retarget those people. I can send them off platform. I can actually create a conversion campaign with the retargeting campaign. And the retargeting campaign is going to consist of retargeting people that has watched at least 50% or more of the actual post campaign. So now I'm retargeting a high more highly interested audience. So boom, I can send them to the streaming platforms, and then my messaging is going to be key. Cause I could say something in the ad that's retargeting and be like, hey, if you've seen this ad, if you're seeing this ad, then I know you already like this song. Go ahead and stream it on such and such. Or hey, go watch the whole video. I can talk to them different. You know what I'm saying? Create that, like, hey, you're familiar. So now I'm gonna take this other $500 and I'm gonna go to YouTube. Right? Now I'm gonna run some YouTube campaigns. Probably what I do is I mix that up to where I got that full-fledged system. I got a subscriber growth campaign, I got an engagement campaign, and I got brand awareness / video growth campaigns. So I'll probably take $300 and I'll throw that inside of a video view campaign, but I'm gonna have multiple campaigns set up. I'm gonna have a campaign to where it's because you want to maintain like a certain level of vanity, but also a certain level of, like quality.
Right.
So I'm gonna have one campaign to where it's just worldwide. We targeting the world. I know my views will be, a little cheaper than than US. So boom, we're targeting the world. That's gonna help our numbers look a certain way. And then I'm gonna have a more targeted campaign to where, okay, we're focusing on certain areas of the world. It can still be worldwide. I may be focusing on countries like Europe, Australia, or we could just do a US campaign, either or. So now I'm targeting the US, but also I'm targeting the worldwide, right? Then I have another campaign to where it's audience focused. I'm focusing on certain audiences. I can focus on certain music artists. I can focus on certain interest groups. Also, I can have my video playing in front of certain videos. But that's my video view campaign broke down. So that's $300. I got $100, and I'm gonna do a subscriber campaign. So subscriber campaign is gonna focus on growing subscribers, but it's gonna grow subscribers with that piece of content. So two birds, one stone. I'm getting subscribers, but I'm getting them from them watching and liking this video that they're seeing. So double whammy, and then the last $100, it'll probably be a mixture of an engagement campaign / retargeting campaign. So an engagement campaign is similar to a subscriber campaign, but we're driving engagement. We're trying to reach people that's gonna comment and like and stuff like that. So we got that campaign rolling, and then inside of the audience side, if we have an audience already, or depending on how many views is coming in, I can actually retarget people that, viewed the video, but maybe they didn't subscribe, or, people that, took a particular action. I can retarget people that has watched other videos on my channel. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to actually be this ad. So, that's kind of a foundation as far as how I would do it, but it gets deeper than that. But that's how I would play around with $1,000.
Man, they're about to get $1,000. I'm about to go and get them 1,000. Hey, take this. Let's go. Now, because I'm serious about the growth. I'm serious about it. And I've seen results. And that's one thing I can be is a testament. I've seen firsthand the results that this gentleman and his organization does to help this platform grow and receive exposure, right? I've seen it firsthand. So I can say confidently that this is a brand that you would want to trust and to put your money into is Nard and WAMM. Where do you see WAMM in the next 5 years?
That's a great question. So I actually been playing around with this idea. So of course, marketing, that's always going to be our key. That's our foundation. We're about to dive into the software side here shortly. We're not debating, but we're kind of like, we're in the strategy side of it, but we're going to focus on softwares and apps that can help independent artists do a lot of these things themselves. So, get to the point where you can go to our app and it'll help you and guide you on marketing your own music and marketing your own content and growing your brand. So that's one of the things that we want to do, and create a real big ecosystem to where the app can do it all.
Mm-hmm.
One-stop shop. You can market your music, you can distribute your music, you can, create merch, you can look at your data, you can, you just do everything. You record your music. It's already these platforms already exist, but having it all in one, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So that's a goal. That's a monstrous goal, but that's something that we plan on working on. Um, but yeah, I would say that, man. That's pretty much the goal, and then of course growing the other sides of the empire. Because we do marketing for business owners, so that's a whole other world in itself. But yeah, that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So how can people get in contact with your organization, with WAMM, to take advantage of your services?
Yeah, man. So go to whampromotions.com. That is the foundation to our services. Go to our website, and then all social media platforms. Wham Promotions on Instagram, Nard2Hard on Instagram. And then any platform, honestly, but Instagram is like, we're very active on Instagram. And yeah, website, and then you can also email us or call us.
Because they got a physical number,
Yep.
right? An actual number that you can call, physical building, right? Physical things. That night, not like some of these other companies. I ain't saying who they are. I'm just saying not like some of these other companies out there.
Yep.
But man, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you taking the time to be on this platform, to help grow this platform, so that those who are watching can have exposure to what we're doing, our mission to help educate and provide tools and resources to the independent music community. So you're talking about drilling down to that niche. That is our ultimate goal.
Yeah.
To be the one place, y'all know my tag, to be the one-stop place for all of your needs, resources, tools as an independent music creator, whether you're an artist, producer, engineer, songwriter, it doesn't matter. That's why we bring experts on, SMEs, or subject matter experts, to talk about what they do. Now, my brain is in my, rattling around, because y'all know we do master classes, right?
Mhm.
So I'm kind of thinking about maybe hitting up my guy about, how can we do a master class on this whole thing, for the, the We Create Music TV audience. But, that's a further discussion. But man, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in once again. So this was going to be a masterclass episode tonight. My man is a great individual. I'm pleased to know him. I'm pleased to know the organization that is behind what we do as a brand for all of our marketing needs. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Go support, go watch all the videos. Make sure you support WAMM and take advantage of their services as well. And once again, we're out, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. We're out. Be good.
Wham.